I'm Kath, the Corner Sewing Girl. Welcome back. Still struggling on with my foot, and I've done a load of piecing and cutting out, and my foot didn't like it. It was quite sore, to be honest. And I've got a little stool and a cushion under my table, so I can rest my foot up there. Now that I could probably get comfy and do a few blocks, but I needed to. I should have prepared everything, like done all my strip tracing and all before I went into hospital with my foot. But I never gathered enough fabric then before that, and I was nipping in and out with the quilt shop gathering the fabric. By the time I gathered it all, I managed just to get it on the line and washed and starched before I started. But I have made a start, so I'll show you what I've done. Here's me blocks, and then we can all have a lovely bit of relaxing sewing together. Now, what I've done is I want to combine some really old traditional blocks in with bit of my stuff as well, like for instance, this little peacock here is just a plain piece, but I might, do a little border or something on the side just to break it up, rather than have the peacock just 12 inches. And then we might put some squares down the side. I'm going to take you off camera actually in a minute, rather than hold everything up. And I can show you the idea I had for those pots and cups and things I wanted to do in the quilt. Now, this is, as you can see, a log cabin, but I didn't do the 2-inch center. I done a 4.5 inch. So if you don't, pardon me, if you do a 4-inch block in the middle and then 2.5 ones, that'll give you a good size, or where you can square up a 12-inch block, and that one, I was pleased with that one came out all right, although I'm not happy with using the stop start, because everyone sews in their own way, and I sew where I like having my hands there a lot, obviously keeping them out the way of danger, but I like feeding fabric through. A lot of people, and with the foot on the pedal, I like it when you stop, I like it to stop, but that doesn't quite happen with my Brother V7. It just go on a little bit. Now, whether or not my foot pedal, the spring isn't quite so responsive on that, and I might need to get another one, because I don't think they're that dear, just the basic ones, the standard one I've got. Put away, look, with my foot sore. See here, when I put my foot down on it, it doesn't seem to want to stop bang on when I want to stop. So I might get another one of those. And I'm having a little bit of a problem with this foot, the 1/4-inch foot, because when you've used them a lot, sometimes this edge will sort of, stretch out a little on here. But I love it. Oh, yeah, I love it. And on my machine, I did have a little needle plate which had the 1/4-inch foot. So I was happy with that. And I did mention the Move It foot, but it's no good for piecing. It's too clunky. And say like you had a piece of fabric here, it gets bunched right. I was going to put it on and show you, but I did show you what it was like with normal fabric, a little bit thicker fabric. It gets bunched right there, so that wouldn't be no good. But the Luminaires and the Stellaires and all the top of the line machines that got this, they've remodified this foot, and it's sort of a lot slimmer, and it comes sort of more down and around, so then it would prevent the bunching, which I wish I had. But this will be fine for piecing, because when I was doing my piecing, let's just put my foot away there a minute, I did hang on, I'll just go and get a foot. I needed just to nip and get that. Now with this, you can have the stitch in the ditch foot, and they weren't that dear. As you can see, I only paid £15 £8.79, but that was a couple of years ago. I haven't used it yet. And there's me, that's the one that I can't piece with. But for my brother's sewing machine, I think it's called, is it Dymatic, or is something like that. And they brought out a new walking foot. Now that would probably be ideal for piecing with, a lot better than what I've got. That one I can't piece with at all. And that's the one I'm going to use when I sort of do the you know, the quilt sandwich and everything together. As soon as I get enough blocks, I'll start that. But at the moment, I haven't got a clue where I'm going to put the blocks. I'm just creating a few. And like I showed you, I've done these. And I've got another one I've done. This one here. Now, in order to have some darks and some lights in the Tilda fabric, they were beautiful shades, and I think they all go together nice, but there weren't enough what I call light blenders. So I went and got this one. It was just another good quality one that was in the sewing shop, so it had the same feel. I'll find out what that one's called and let you know. But I was pleased with that. Very pleased with having that little bit of light in it and liking the colours, because if you don't like the colours, I just get fed up with it. I'm very drawn and very my moods and all really do go with colours. Now, oh, and we're going to do a nice load of these star blocks. Now, in order to do these, I did sort of show you a little bit, and I shall make one and show you. But as you can see, I've got stripy fabric here, so we always got to bear in mind that as we lay them out, the stripy fabric all got to follow suit and a little bit on the pattern. But you see me when I done a little one, there was no need to be too fussy with matching it all up, because time you draw it in with your seams, and most of my fabric is small print anyway, so I think you're going to be all right there. Now, okay, I'm now doing the star blocks. This is our quilt star block, just getting started. But just to show you what I do, last time when I was showing you about the laser guide, I told you I go from point to point. Well, that's not quite true when I do these star points on here. I always like a nice bit to turn back. So I like a nice bit so that I can buff it right up to the edges and square it off if need. So I don't always go exactly right in the corner. I always fudge it just a little bit so it's just offset from that point like that. And that'll give me, make sure it's just slightly off on that point as well, just slightly off. And that enable it to roll over a bit and definitely cover this side. So we'll make a start on that. I have got something here I could use as a leader, but I've never really bothered with it before in the past. Oh, I think we'll leave that. We got lining all up again now. Just slightly off that point. And just slightly there like that. And off we go. Let's pop that one back. I'm going to go nice and slow on this, because I'm not used to I'm used to just whacking my foot down. I'm not actually used to the stop and start button really. They say it's hands-free, but I don't prefer it. Just slightly, almost very minimal. Yeah, let's see if that one works. And then obviously we cut off there. And then that one, yeah, There we go. All that one's looking lovely. So then when we've done that one, this is the main part of the star, and you can have it wherever you want. That looks like the right way. I think it would be better going this way. Yeah, that one goes on there like that. But then that would have to be down there, I think. Yeah, let's get another one. Now we've got a little bit of just trying to see if we can marry them up a bit. Let's just see, because really we want one that'll just marry up with what we've got here. Let's have a look. No, that one don't go quite so well. We could have that one there like that. And then we'll just do, I think it's silly, I suppose, spending too much time on it. There we go. That one will look fine there like that. Going to set my iron going in a minute. I think what I'll do is I'll iron that other one. Right, now we've got all these and the log cabin ones. Now we're going to just see if we can incorporate something else nice in with them. The log cabin might go around the outside, I'm not sure, we haven't got to that. But as soon as we get enough box together and I'm happy with the way they all go together, then we'll do a little bit of quilting as you go. And there'll be no binding and it'll be lovely and easy, so I can't wait to get to that. But this is just, there was one thing I did want to mention, I haven't mentioned yet, with the peacock one, this one here. Now, I didn't want just a 12-inch block of that. I wanted to do something on the side. So I might put a little panel on the side. I'm not sure. There might be something going down the side or something, just to make it look a little, that it's got a little interest for the eye to fall on. But I think these little blocks in there, and then building all the other shades and colours that have come out of this peacock one will be good. Now, of doing another block, what I want to do is have something, like you say, well, how can you incorporate a pot in there? Be surprised how you can, really, because when I was into textile art, I used to do these things all the time. I was always looking around the house, and I remember I bought this once, and my husband said, well, what did you buy that for? It's a bit of a small jug, but it's a little creamer jug. And you know, into art, if you wanted to incorporate that little shape, all you've got to do is draw around it. Now, let's see how we get on. Let's do the big one first. Now, I would probably do it on here because your grids would help you have a little better alignment for it. But this is just to show you how I would tackle it. I would just come up here, put the pen straight down, and just go down. Now, whether or not you really want, and you can curve it in so that you've not got too big of a pot. And then as you look like that, you've got a little bit of shape in, and then you can sort of bring the base around. You know, you can do your base, and then but you can always then eyeball it, and you could think, well, no, I don't want the top to be a bit like that. And then you could think, well, it looks a little bit like a bottle, so let's just see if we can find another one. So we've got this pot here. Now, this was just a cheap little pot I picked up many years ago. You forget you got them, and then you start to, you can play around whether you want to push the pen up tight in, or I'm not very good at my left hand with drawing. Now that's given you a nice little bit of a curve, and then you could sort of like have something to do your bottom with. Be surprised what you have got, you know. If I just sort of took it in about there, I think, and we forget that bit down the bottom, and then you can sort of like be surprised what you've got. And these little curved rulers that I got over here for dressmaking, you know, a lot of them are good. You'd be surprised what rulers you can find that can help you. Right, and then we could pick up some fabric, and what fabric we want to do that with. To make it look like a pot, I probably would go for something like that, and then we could cut the shape out on this. Now, when we cut a shape out, well, let's just call it, let's just see if I got a smaller little piece here a moment. Well, let's just take this piece, for instance, because we don't want to cover over the pot. That would be the shape of the pot. But if you wanted to do it, oh, I thought that was my other phone ringing, but it's not. If you wanted to do it in something like a dotted fabric, you've got to remember what you're going to have for the background. So I would probably go for this for the background. But when you make your shape and you go down like that, all we got to do is strip piece then around it, and we could curve a little piece of fabric with a slight curve, and you could bring it down as far as you wanted to. You could bring it down to there, then make that another section, and then you could do your measurements, say that was 4.5 maybe, and then you could have maybe a 2.5 down here. You know, did you see what I mean there? I'm going to keep this pretty easy to follow. Nothing's going to be too complicated, and say you add a 2.5 up there. So that's the gist of how I'm going to do it. You've got your pot shape here, and then you'll have some strip piecing. You could probably try and do one whole piece, but you don't have to. And I think if you were going to have the dotted one in the background, I would be careful with merging the dots either side. So you'd probably be better off with, out of the two, rather than this one, you might be better off with the stripy one. And then I would probably go for something more that would stand out a bit against it, because we are trying to stand the pot out. And then, you know, that's how I would incorporate it in. And I don't like things too complicated, and I like to keep things simple, because once you start going down that complicated road, you've got to keep repeating it, and things can get a little frustrating, and we don't want that. This is supposed to be some nice sewing. Seeing this quilt won't be done, you know, in a week or two, probably go on a while. We will have lots of different things and different things and ideas to put in it. I mean, I genuinely like the idea of a dotted pot, perhaps. And you could always, then with the dotted, you could always embellish it. You could always put some more little tiny little strip piecing on it, or something like that. But we're going to have a play, and we're going to see what we come up with. But I think something like that would be quite nice if you got the idea. If I put that up close, as you can see, we'd probably have, mind you, this is a 4.5 piece, so it probably won't be that big. But if you know, or even that for the pot would look quite nice, you know. And then we do some strip piecing here and it would be just molded slightly into the shape of the pot, and that would be our template. We'd cut it out on that little grid so that it would be all, the shaping would be right. So I like that. Now I got another idea. Do you know, I'd love to do a coffee pot. But my coffee pot was huge and it would take up the whole page. But I did have another idea about that. I'll show you that in a minute. Now we got these little jugs. Now these little jugs, and especially this one, has got a nice spout on it. So that might come out nice. Oh, I went down and got me Denby cup. And I don't know what I've done with that now. Right, so we can go like this. And this one ain't coming out so good as the other one, because this one isn't very flat, but it'll give us something to work on. You know, it'll give us something to work on, and then we can use things just to sort of like give things a little bit of a base. But you've got to remember this was supposed to be standing up. Just follow it round. Follow the jug around like that. And we'd have to come over here, like something like this. Oh, they've gone a little bit astray there. But you can get the idea on a jug, and then we'd get some more fabric again. And we'd make the jug. I'm just wondering, what have I got that's small, like a small piece? I haven't got a small piece. But you could even, for the top part, I mean, once we play around with it and we get a sort of a shaping, but I don't know, maybe that needs to come down a little more. But once you get the idea of playing around, you'll be surprised on how easy it can be. That's me cat. So we'll see how that comes out. Right, we'll show you how we're getting along with the pot and how we've managed to achieve to get this far. I'm just going to create a 12-inch block on wrapping it around my ruler. I always do 12-inch blocks, but your ruler will always be 12.5 to allow for your 1/4-inch seam allowance on each side. Now, I'm going to face this towards you. If I put it like that, you'll be able to see. What can we put here to stop it rolling? Hang on, we've got a pebble. Right. Now, this is my pot. I probably will bring this right down, I expect, to the bottom of the pot. And then we got another little strip, which is going to be the neck of the pot. Now, this is a 12.5-inch block. So when you do your pots, if you do one, you just got to bear in mind, so long as it fits in with the 12.5-inch block, you know, there's no right or wrong with sizing. If I can come back, can you see that okay there? This can be smaller or wider of your choice. And I'm just going to strip piece, not the whole thing. I wanted this fabric. Now, if I because this has got a gentle curve on the side, and I reckon if we start from the top of the pot and just merge that there little slight curve in, I reckon we could do that. And along here it would be strip pieced along. You'd have one piece here, this piece, then that, and then you'd have a piece to follow the top if needed, or probably I would make the whole thing fit the 12.5 inches up there. So if we needed another bit added to that, I would. I'm going to see how it goes. Now, even though I'm going to do the sides in one go, I still would have a lot of piecing at the top to incorporate that into strip piecing. And sometimes you can have half of a few circles merged together. So I'm always cautious when I do use dotted fabric. Now, this is my template, and I'll show you how I created that. And as you can see, it's a little bit smaller, but I incorporated that anyway, and I only chiseled off a little bit of the pot. And just as long as I kept the shaping of it, I was happy. And that's pot don't look right without the top of the pot on. So I'll show you how I achieved to get I can leave that one there a moment. Now, how I achieved to get this, I started off with this. We started off with this size on just a little bit of like note paper, any paper. I just got me shape. I laid it down, had a pen, and I just went and drawed around it. And then I sort of got that, and I love that, and I think I will have some with that. But I just thought on a 12-inch block, at first I thought, oh, that might be a little bit lost. So I thought I'm going to fatten it up a bit. So in order to do that, I got some grid paper. Now these are sold in your local sewing shop. And I got a tailor's curve, or a French curve it's called. And this is a Sew Easy one. And this worked really well with this, but anything that you can, because if you've got grids, you can always put your tape measure there and follow around, because the grids are easy then to keep on track. And all I done was, when I had the small pot, I just come right out over the sides like that and done another nice big sweep around, you know, just to keep it all in place, all flowing nicely with a curve, you know. But I didn't do the other side because I'm thinking, well, we can easily just fold it in half and copy the other side. So I done that. So there we go. Now what I'm going to do, I've got some lovely ideas to do things, and you'd be surprised. I mean, like, you take that pot of buttons for a start. I mean, that would make a lovely pot if you just laid it down, and because it's got a lovely little curvature there. If you see the curve on that there side, you could copy that for a little pot to piece into your thing, because that would have such a gentle curve. It wouldn't take much doing to incorporate it. And it's surprising what you can find. You know, although this one hasn't got a bit of much shaping to it, it's still a pot. So there we go. And I did want, I got my Denby cup here. Remember, I drawed around that. Don't know what I've done with my drawing now. Must be up here somewhere. And you can lay that down and you can just draw around. You know, you might need a helping hand to fill in the little gaps. I'll go see where the one is already done. We've done one side and it's gone in all right on the pot. That's the back. We had to just ease it in as we went around. But there is an easier way. I mean, I've got a strip in the middle. You could follow your strips right across and then just do each section, you know, each strips together. But we got an upside down now. But we've done one side and I'm pleased with that. That's gone in lovely. So we're now just trying, because it is a gentle curve, but as you can see here, there might be a little bit of easing. So if you wanted it a little bit more easy, you could just sew the strips right across to the end and, you know, follow the pattern that way. So where you're putting your little piece in the middle, you could put your background fabric onto this on the ends, you know, and then just strip piece it as you go. But that one went in seconds, you know, one little go around the machine and it was in. But what I'm doing here now is just seeing if any little pieces need a little bit of a helping hand. There isn't much, but you can just see where you've got to ease. And I'm gonna, even though I like to get my hands in there, I'm just gonna, where I've got the pins to, I can see where I got to work on it a little bit, like, you know. Right, just gonna take this one to the machine a moment. I don't like over pinning, but I will on this because the first time I've done this. So there we go, we've just pinned it. That one there has gone in lovely, and I'll see you in a minute after I've done that. Now we're just doing the other curve. This is the other curve, and I don't know if you can see or not, I'm just making sure the overlap. Now there is, just like you would do a sleeve, there is a little bit of, if I poke it with something here, there is a little bit of easing in here. So I think the easier way would be for you to, where you've got that little strip in the middle, to follow those strips along with your background fabric. But this doesn't take very long and it is quite easy. Just making sure everything's good to go. Oh, you got me pressure foot back now. My foot's better. We'll get in there. All right, now let's see how we are doing. I want a little shove in of the under one. Those feed dogs, take that up. Nearly there. Making sure you're following that curve around. Tiny little bit more. Just put my finger on the bottom of the fabric and push it towards the feed dogs, and it will feed that bottom one in just a little bit more. But I wish I had the brother walking foot, not the big thick one, but there's another one out. Wish I had that. Make life easier, but I've been spending on other things lately. Right, there we go. I'll show you and see what that one's come out like. Right, well, we've just took it off the machine. We're now going to give it an iron. That's the one we done earlier, and this is the one we've just done. So I'm just going to give that an iron a moment. Looks like we're ironing it out, but I suppose that helps with the shape a bit. So we don't see, well, most of the fabric is light anyway. It's just that bit in the middle that's darker. Then we can square that block up. He always looks a little bit lopsided before we square them up. Oh, what have I done there? Look, I've caught me seam open or something there. Well, no one's perfect. We're not going to fret over that too much, although I do like to be perfect. but it is annoying. I am thumping this iron around here. I don't generally like doing that. I remember like lifting it up and pressing, because you can dull your fabric, I've noticed over the years, if you keep on ironing the heck out of it, you know. It's better to do some smaller little pressing ones. Let's see what that one's come out. So far so good. There we go. That's with the sides on. Now we're going to strip piece the top. We're going to cut one of these to size. Don't know what size, any size really that you can eyeball that you think look is nice. And then I'm going to have another strip, and I'm going to just attach the background to this. But here I didn't want any Y seams or anything, but if you just attach this background to this and strip piece them up as you go, that would be easier. I've gone the long way round. I aren't perfect, but I will do that. It's just that I was thinking of that dotted fabric, and I'm thinking, well, if I merge it all in, then I won't have too many sections where the dots are merging. And then I decided not to use that anyway, because I'm thinking, well, the neck of the pot's got to be done. Oh, look, we got that as well. That looks pretty for the top of the pot, wouldn't it? Let's just hold that up. See, that would look nice, but I'm going to pick out the same as I got here. Although I don't dislike that, though. Whether or not that would be too much with the peacock fabric, we'll see. Quite like that as well, don't you? For the top of the pot. I'll just fit that neck of the pot to fit, and as you can see here, we got to tidy them all up. So now we're going to go and do the next bit of the pot, and I'll see you in a minute. Oh, there's me pot. There's me stars, there's me peacock, and this is a little bit of log cabin. So I might do that round the borders, and then I have some big pots and some small pots. I think it eventually went right. A little bit of problem always making sure the stripes are going the right way, because I have one going that way and I had to change it. But I think the, you know, the curved seams went in all right. I don't think the bases are too big. So that'll have to do. Nothing's perfect in this world. We gotta just smile and be happy with what we do have. So that ain't too bad. And that's me pot. Come up close, make sure you can see it. Pleased with it, really, how it turned out. I wouldn't say too difficult, but I think where I strip piece here, I would do so here. Because I eased it in, and I love easing in. I don't mind a bit of easing in, but I think anyone who just wants the easier option, just, you know, as you piece along here, just take them out to the sides, you know. There's an easy way, but it wasn't too bad, actually. Really did quite like it. Just to explain why I bought some new rulers. I bought this one, didn't I? I think this was eBay. This, how do you pronounce that? Ofa, I think, something like that. And that one is supposed to be non-stick. But as you can see, I've put these little stickers here. That was so easy, those stickers were from. Now, I'm not getting on with it not being non-stick. It is slippery. I'm going to put some to the test because I've splashed out. I'll put my little sticker price up here somewhere, how much I paid for this ruler. Here it is. There, look. I don't want to get my ruler sticky, but I paid £25, £25.86 for this ruler. Oh no, hang on a minute, it's this one. Creative Grids. And the reason why I did, because when I was in the shop, even though it had cellophane, I could see these big stickers here. And I'm thinking, I didn't have that on this other one I bought, this squaring up 12-inch ruler. Now, with Creative Grids, I'm not sure whether they specifically are for quilting or for anything. I don't know whether you ought to look for a quilting one, But this was just a 6.5 by 12, which was an ideal size for me because I like 12-inch blocks, and I could do some 6.5s as well. And they're nice for strip piecing as well, for like little log cabins and things like that. So this was a nice size for me. Now, this ruler here, which is a So Easy ruler, and these little stickers on there came from the same company, So Easy. But when I put it face down, where those stickers was, and I pressed, there was still quite a bit of movement. Now let's just see if we put a little bit of pretty fabric in there, because that's how you'll be cutting. It still had, you know, there's nothing to keep that secure. Now this one, me squaring up one, let's get just a bigger spot. Now I've got my stickers on facing up here, and I've got one facing down there. So this is supposed to be non-stick, but you can see how that slides. Let's just turn it over. Maybe there's a right and a wrong. Press down hard. Give it a good press down hard, obviously is better. But when I do my rulers, let's see if I can put you back so you can see my hand. I always got my finger on the edge, and then I pan it out like that, just so that it sort of keeps it flat. Now I could cut with that isn't bad, but there's you know, it wouldn't take much for that to move. Now these expensive Creative Grid ones, let's see if they're worth their money. Now what I would be doing with this would be probably strip piecing, so let's just get a nice piece here. Now, don't matter about the size for just trying it out. Now we got these little bumps facing down and the smoothness on the top. It is nice because you can see your 1/2 inches, you can see your 1/4 inches even. And, you know, you've got all your measurements down the side, and you've got these lines here are handy. Although, you know, they are brilliant to have a few lines and everything, so you can square blocks up. Now, all that looked quite slippery, didn't it? Now, how I would do it is I would go like that. Oh, ain't bad. When I put a bit of weight on it, there is a bit of slippage. If you really wanted to make it slip, you could. Now, let's just try this one. Fairly firm, that one. Now, we're doing it where I got the stickers on here as well. So this one's non-stick with the slippers, with the stickers. And this is So Easy ruler. So just put my finger down the side, give a little press. You know, you could cut with that. You could cut with that. But you can. But the thing is, you wouldn't be looking to jiggle it, would you, when you would be piecing? So let's just see if I just was normally just this. Probably okay. But when I very first had this, I thought it was really good because I did notice straight away. But I was sitting down when I done that. Now I'm standing up. So where's your stickers to underneath? They're here along the middle. So it's got these little pads here. And you're supposed to just put a little bit of weight on them. Like that. It's nice. It is nice, but you could always get it to move if you wanted to. Although I don't know if there is, I don't think there's a lot of difference, but somehow I liked it when I had. Yeah, no, going between the two, that one is definitely better. And this one, whether or not by putting the stickers on, whether I've lifted it up off the surface, if you know what I mean. So if I take these stickers off a moment, because otherwise it's got a contact with the surface to stick. And then just press No, it just seems to be like very slidey, this one, doesn't it? And we got another one there. It could be that what it could be is that where I've put the stickers on, I'm losing their grip by not having it flush to the surface, if you see what I mean. So let's just see now. I don't know. I think it's quite slippery actually, and that is a non-slip one. Model QR125. Yeah, he is slip. He isn't tight like that one was. That one felt a lot firmer. And when you're doing your blocks, if you took your time to cut them out, this one here, remember I said was all me stickiness on there. I didn't get on when I cut out one of my blocks and wanted to square it up. I just thought, oh, I'll have what I'm used to. But I did find the markings on that one better, because what I done was this line going up there, where I had the log cabin one. It was lovely to sort of center each corner on there, on all the blocks, you know, and then you could sort of follow it all up and make everything was all in line. So I did like that, and I would recommend these, even though they're a bit dear. But online, this was my local quilting shop, so they might be a little bit cheaper elsewhere. Yeah. Well, there we go. I've just come down for a nice cup of coffee. I always love a nice cup of coffee after I've been sewing. Yeah, me foot is getting there. I've had my stitches out. I had a little Velcro like boot thing I had to wear, so you could take your weight off the front of your foot and fall back onto your heel. But I had crutches as well. That's all gone now. It's only been just after 2 weeks, and I had the bandage off, and I said, oh, when can I bear weight on it? This was the specialist who done it. And he said, straight away, you know, get back in your shoes and see how you go. Well, I took off, didn't I? I went Marks and Spencer's next. I went up, because we had to go up to St. Austell to the hospital. So we went in, is it called Kingsley Village? And then they have Marks and Spencer's next. So I went marching all around there. But a bit too soon, really. I came home and I soaked it in some lovely warm water, and I'm going to moisturise it well. And I think that might help. But back to my sewing. Yeah, it was a bit of a challenge sewing with my foot like that, because as you could see, I was struggling to get my foot up on the cushion, because you keep on wanting to get up and piece more, and standing piecing, or with the ruler, you know, cutting it all out. It did not like it standing like that. But we have managed it. And we've managed to do the pot, didn't we? I was delighted I managed to do that. But the start button was annoying me, because I'm one that when I sew, I like hands-on, like easing that curving on that pot. I like to push a little bit of the fabric towards the feed dogs, and it's surprising how that really will bite in and take the surplus up. But with that start button, if I was holding the fabric and feeding it through every step of the way, I wouldn't like keep going up to stopping that start button. So I was thankful I managed to have my foot pedal, even though my foot pedal isn't responding that well. So we're going to see what we can do about that. But it all adds up, doesn't it? When you go in the sewing shop, it's like now I'm thinking, oh, I better have another yard of the background. And I'm thinking, unless I do half of the stripy, half of the dotted one. And then I'm thinking, I haven't got enough of colours that pop, so I might get some of that. And then I'm thinking, well, no, I really like the light one as well. And you're at £30 again. And that's without buying the foot control thing I want this week. But if I was going to buy something for my sewing, I think I would have got, because the Move It Foot, the one I got isn't very good for piecing. So, you know, the big Move It Foot. But there is a walking foot out by Brother, a fairly newish one. I don't know if it's called Dymatic or something. Or, I don't know. I'm terrible for names on things. But that would be lovely for piecing, that would be. But whether I need it or not, now once I get me foot control, and I shall be okay. It doesn't seem to have much slippage, to be honest, so I think I'm going to be all right. I did like to you know, add a little bit of Cornwall in, and I did go out to lunch. We, like I said last time, we absolutely adored the Thomas Daniel. Beautiful food. The staff were nice as well. But I left it a bit late to book because I wasn't sure if I was going to see my daughter this weekend. And then push come to shove, we just thought, well, let's just go up the Alverton because they're a big hotel. They've always got spaces. And I'll pop a little clip in because my husband been treating me, seeing I've had me a foot. So I'll pop a little clip in of that now.
Yes. Okay.
Well, I hope you really love all that and like all that. And, you know, I just love reading all my comments. I'm so thankful people take the time and effort to do that. And it makes me feel happy, and it makes me like now, even with me foot, I'm starting to get really eager to get in that sewing machine room. I always say sewing machine room, in that sewing room and get going. So now we've done the pot and we can see what else we can create and have some fun sewing. See you all soon. Bye for now. Bye.